you were offered the lead role in Karate Kid, ultimately played by Ralph Macchio, and you turned it down for some film with the word grizzly in it, where you and a very young George Clooney and a young Laura Dern would make a movie no one would ever remember whatsoever. And your dad had told you needed to say no to Karate Kid because you had committed to this other film.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, it's not the worst advice in the world if you just break it down just into the credo that he was, into just the noble essence of what he was trying to get me to pursue, or to recognize, but yeah, that was a hard one to watch and, go get eaten by a bear and then watch Ralph,
that's really
do with
rough.
That. But again,
but then I heard you say this in the documentary, no offense to Ralph Macchio, but like he was kind of typecast after that. And Ralph did not go on to become some huge Hollywood movie star like you did.
But he still had a really respectable and terrific career and still does great work to this day,
Yeah.
But if you think of the Karate Kid, it's really difficult to picture anyone except him, even if you've just seen the first one. I don't think I had the skills or the tools or the mindset or anything at that moment in time to pull off or bring to it what he was able to, So I think the film would have been different, or it would have started with me, and that it finally just went, you know what, let's go with that Italian kid that we had a couple days ago, So who knows?
Instead of the Spanish kid.
Instead of the Spanish kid.
You come from a long line of Spanish people, like a whole family, like Ramon, he's in the documentary, and Emilio.
Yes, yeah.
Your dad's name isn't really Martin, it's very Spanish. Do you connect at all with that piece of your lineage?
Just through stories and just through relatives and just, I don't go on the pilgrimages like my brother Ramon does and Emilio and Dad. I guess I lean more into the Irish side of our roots, No
offense taken. Yeah, I know exactly where you're going with that. I would say your love of beautiful women, that's very Spanish. So like maybe it's in you in other ways that are, more silent. All right, so now you get cast in Platoon, and this too was a role that was supposed to be Emilio's. This was a role that was supposed to go to somebody else that you got because of timing, and he took on another project. One thing led to another. So you wind up getting this role, and that was it, right? Platoon was the big before and after, like, now I'm a household name.
There's BP and there's AP.
You ever get caught in a mistake that you just can't get out of? Okay.
Yeah. Before Platoon, after Platoon. Yeah.
Yep.
Again, there's a nice photo. Johnny, what a trip. God, that's
a great one.
That feels like 100 lifetimes ago,
You were a baby.
Yeah, right. We didn't know what we'd created. We thought the vets would appreciate it. We thought other filmmakers would think we'd given taken a pretty good shot at it. But no, we did not expect that the entire world was going to join in the celebration. It was a pretty exciting time.
The first real movie about the war in Vietnam is Platoon.
Then you get the kind of fame that's like you walk into a football stadium and everybody knows you. Not to mention you could sleep with any woman in there, which, that's very heady, hugely heady. And at the same time, you're hanging out with all these big stars. Like, I didn't know anything about your long friendship with Nick Cage. Hello, that's amazing.
Yeah, I think what's in the doc with Nicolas and myself and what's in the book, I think there's some really cool, really just memorable,
yes.
Unforgettable stuff between us. It's not all in there, and that's just, hey, there we are. And that's out of respect to him and myself. And, there's some stuff that it's just probably better that it stays between the people and exists only in that moment in time. But I think there is enough there to just give a taste, just give a vibe of the kind of the energy that we were both, it was weird. It's like we found each other right when we needed to. and it wasn't a competition thing, but we just, I think I talk about something in the book that, something about we're both on the verge of complete fission, and I brought the missing neutrons, stuff like that. It's interesting. I just spoke with Nicolas about an hour ago today, and this dude at 9:01 in LA, knowing it was past midnight East Coast, downloaded my audiobook and listened to it, started it last night and finished it today, and wrote this beautiful penning of just love and support, and he was just such passion and excitement, and I called him, and it was really, that was just like an hour ago, because
so
when you write about people,
about the disclosures you made, he did not care about the disclosures you made about him.
No, he loved the stories, he loved the writing, he just loved that he was a part of it. It was so cool. It was such just a loving, I don't want to call it an endorsement. It was just the kind of support that I would have hoped for, but when you get it for real, especially from him, it was pretty special. And I hope he doesn't mind that I'm sharing this with the world, Now,
I have to imagine you've gotten a phone call from literally every gay man who's ever met you and has your number saying, I see a window. Is it still open?
I mean, not exactly. No, it hasn't gone there, because that was a pretty isolated thing. And again, that's not about shame, or that's not about anything like that. That's just about, trying to just be respectful of, other people's privacies and stuff like that. But that is kind of funny. Yeah, I actually did have that thought. What's it going to be like now in the streets? Am I going to be getting the thing? You know what I'm saying?
Oh, yeah. Yes, you're going to be getting the thing. Every gay man is going to say, so you're saying there's a chance. For the listening audience, Charlie reveals in the book that he, while on drugs, had a couple of interludes crossing over to the other side. Is not declaring that he's gay or bi or anything else, but is just being honest about his life, intoxicated and high. And that's why I say some will see a window.
That's all right. That's flattering. I mean, what the hell, right? It's one moment in a very long life. And I said something the other day that I guess I just wanted to have just a little bit more in common with Richard Pryor and Marlon Brando and Mick Jagger.
Mick Jagger, that's who I was thinking of.
That's pretty good company. That's some Hall of Famers right there,
But it does have to be a relief. You write about how you paid people blackmail money to keep that secret. Yeah. You came out a long time ago as HIV positive. Sure. You had to pay people to keep that secret. I mean, this is a lot to be laboring under.
It's exhausting. And to always, anytime the phone rings or you see an email from a lawyer or a manager that always talks to that lawyer, and it just got to the point of this, if this is prison, the only thing that's missing is the bars and the guards, But yeah, and I was talking to Emilio, and he said, are you cool that all this stuff is out there and like that? And I said, well, I got to be honest, man. It feels a lot better, out there than it did in here for so long.
When inflation jumps, when you hear the national debt is over $37 trillion, do you ever think maybe now would be a good time to buy some gold? Well, you'd be right. Whether as a hedge against inflation, peace of mind during global instability, or just for sensible diversification, Birch Gold Group believes every American should own physical gold. And so they created something special. Until September 30th, if you're a first-time gold buyer, Birch Gold is offering a rebate of up to $10,000 in free metals on qualifying purchases. To claim eligibility and start the process, request an info kit right now. Just text MK to 989898. Plus, Birch Gold can help you roll an existing IRA or 401k into an IRA in gold, and you're still eligible for a rebate in free metals of up to $10,000. So make right now your first time to buy gold and take advantage of a rebate up to $10,000 when you buy before September 30th. Text MK to the number 989898 to claim your eligibility and get your free info kit. Thanks so much for watching. If you like what you just saw, hit the subscribe button for more clips and full episodes.